in order to bring her husband back to life. The woman used cloning technology to get herself pregnant. Then she gave birth to her husband all over again. As a child he was raised as her son, but once he grew up she treated him as her husband. They even had a son together. To Rebecca this was love that defied life and death. Even if her husband had died in a car accident, she was determined to make him live again. With that obsessive belief, Rebecca went through with the genetic cloning procedure. She watched as her belly slowly swelled with the growing child. Her glass of milk shook slightly as the baby kicked from inside. Rebecca felt both joy and anticipation. She gently sipped the milk hoping to nourish the baby well. Before giving birth, she visited her husband's grave with the unborn child. The dead rested in the cold earth, while new life moved inside her womb. Rebecca shed tears. She mourned her husband's death, but also looked forward to their reunion. Soon the moment of delivery arrived. Thomas was born. Rebecca took him straight to the harbor. She looked at the child who had the same face as the man she loved. Her feelings were complicated. She was his mother, but in her heart he was a continuation of her lover. No matter what, they would never be apart again. As time passed, Thomas slowly grew up. Rebecca never told him he was a clone. She said his father had died in a car crash, and told others Thomas was her son. But the way they interacted was far from a typical mother and son. Rebecca would crawl under the blanket and snuggle next to Thomas. The intimacy between them had already blurred the lines of what a mother and son should be. They even appeared naked in front of each other. Sometimes they would bathe together. Rebecca was deeply attached to this kind of closeness. She enjoyed the warmth in a way no one else could understand. She tried to find her lost lover through this cloned life. And under her guidance, Thomas grew up with a very unclear sense of emotional boundaries. Thomas. His mother was a beautiful and mysterious woman. She cloned her husband and gave birth to him. Her sadness and despair hid emotions he could never fully grasp. It left him confused and lost. But as Thomas entered puberty, the problems only got worse. One day he brought a female friend home. Rebecca hurried to tidy up her messy appearance. She hid her pain and tried to act calm.
Eric's staying over tonight.
Hi. Can I get you anything?
The next day, Rebecca saw a girl standing in front of Thomas holding a rabbit. She looked like a sweet and lovable kid. But Thomas and his friend didn't treat her very nicely. The girl sensed something strange, so she politely greeted them and left quickly. Rebecca warmly invited her to come inside, but the girl only stayed for a moment and politely declined. After she left, Thomas said something odd to his friend. It turned out kids were spreading a rumor that clones smelled like glass cleaner. That girl was a clone herself. Her mother had cloned her own mother and gave birth to her. Rebecca didn't expect what happened next. Her neighbor came to have a serious talk, all because she casually invited the clone girl over to her house. The neighbors said they didn't discriminate against clones, but deep down they didn't want their kids hanging out with one. They believed clones were against nature and ethics, so they came to warn Rebecca to stay away from that girl.